Welcome to another episode of Hard Factor, presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Monday, April 13th, 2020. And first up, guys, before we get started, Pat's not here, by the way. It's Mark, West, and I tonight. And before we get started, a huge thank you to all of the boys who came out for the inaugural Hard Factor Lockdown Turn Up Boat Race for the Cure on Saturday. I emerged from the studio extremely buzzed. So I had a great time. You guys have fun?
Yeah, I mean, the milk eventually got to me.
That's right. Wow,
later in
chugging milk
later in the evening.
Smooth turds.
Yeah, yeah, they were. It was smooth, that's for sure. But yeah, it was fun.
It was awesome.
That's a lot of milk.
Had a great time. Thanks to everyone for doing it. Some very impressive chuggers, like really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hive is full of extremely strong chuggers.
Yeah.
And also, we may be opening up the naming of the hive, too. So what do you guys think about that? We didn't talk about that at all during the boat race, but
Yeah, we also didn't.
Right.
We also didn't invite Bubba. What the fuck? Or the, we
yeah,
forgot to
our
invite
bad,
Bubba. Yeah,
That's our
sorry.
bad, Bubba.
We got you next time, Bubba. And
Yeah, you'll be in boat race number 2 for the Cure.
Yeah,
But-
he didn't reach out. In all fairness,
yeah.
just
yeah.
saying.
Well, you know, we'll there'll be more. Like I said, this is the inaugural. We're not sure the frequency and how long it's going to take us to edit this one, but it will be out eventually, probably this week sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
And another thing that's coming out today, and that is the interview with John McAfee, which I'm sure many listeners are excited to listen to. That, Wes, you tell us what you edited it down to 50 minutes, and that was as cut down as you get it.
Right. I made a lot of cuts. It was hard to determine what wasn't, crazy enough to share that was coming out of that guy's mouth. One of his stories is pretty long, but it's all very entertaining. He's an entertaining guy, so I think will enjoy it.
He's a fucking nut job.
He is a nut job. He absolutely
Right.
and
Stories-
listening back. Whew,
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you might want to pop that on either right after this or maybe the next time you take some ayahuasca or LSD. That would be an excellent time to listen to John McAfee just talk.
Yeah, or
Right,
not,
and
or not, or just like completely stone sober is probably the way to go.
yeah, but again,
But
make
it'll
sure
make
you watch.
feel high, though.
Yeah, make sure you watch that documentary Gringo on Showtime. That's about him and his time in Belize and his doings down there, because it'll shed some light onto who exactly you're dealing with when you listen to that interview.
Yeah. So definitely check that out because it's a wild time. But back to the matter at hand, boys. Monday's Hard Factor. We, of course, have many coronavirus-adjacent news stories, as well as more Tiger King news, the beer granny, and some SNL in isolation. Wes, get us going.
All right. Well, before I get going, just a quick update. Boris Johnson is out of the hospital, so
good.
Very good news for him. He is home. He never was intubated. Just received some oxygen treatment. Maybe whatever Trump sent over saved the day, saved his life. Who knows?
Probably
Yeah.
so. Probably
Yeah,
that care
probably.
package really cleared things up.
I think Trump saved Boris Johnson. We're going to go with that. But
The
he's home.
the
and
UK doctors and the NHS were like, "What is this?" By the
Had
way,
nothing to do with it. Yeah.
shout out one of our listeners. I believe Andrew Parker potentially works at the NHS or someone like he.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
awesome. Hopefully he's
Is he
safe.
a-
Nice work,
Yeah.
Andrew. I'd say, you know what? Andrew did it.
There-
That's why
let's-
Boris is
There we go.
Andrew saved his life. That's why he couldn't
Andrew
join
did.
the chug race too. Because
Right, exactly. He was too
Yeah.
busy saving Boris,
Yeah.
so thank you, Andrew.
Makes sense. Yeah. But anyway, how are you guys doing? Practicing social distancing all weekend? How was your Easter?
Oh, man. Easter I've been laying low, not been doing much. But Saturday, I did go for the first bike ride I've done with a mask. So I'm wearing the compression masks like I wore on Friday's show.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, you draw some stares when you wear those things out. People definitely look at you funny. Nobody else was really. Some people in masks, nobody else in that type of mask.
My girlfriend was telling me about a mask that have these little tiny penises on it, so that way people are like, if they're like, was that a tiny little penis? And then when they get close enough to you, like, now you're too close. You can see that his penis is. Now you get away from me.
That's a good. I like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, Will in the compression masks looks like he should be like in a Jeep, but he should be the guy standing in the center of the Jeep, like behind the mounted machine gun.
Like with the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. But yeah, well, the reason
I feel like I should have been like carrying
not on a 12-speed bike, more like the Jeep mounted gun.
When I was wearing that thing, I felt like I felt like a real faker.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm on a fucking bicycle.
You're like
2 wheels.
Yeah, you're like pulling
and
over to
my
like
feet.
move snails to the side of the road. Oh, get out of here, Mr. Snail! Like, you're gonna get hurt.
But the reason I ask is because as far as social distancing goes, people and police officers and communities are starting to crack down on it. So we've all seen the pictures, Florida, college kids having parties, all this kind of shit. So a lot of states. So let me see. So far now, 44 states have issued stay-at-home orders. So North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, Nebraska, and Arkansas don't give a fuck about the rest of the states and have orders in place.
But all 50.
Yeah.
But all 50 have disaster declarations. It's the first time ever. So we broke a record this year already, 2020.
Yeah. So those states don't care. Oklahoma, Utah, and Wyoming only have stay-at-home orders for parts of their states, but everybody else is ordered to stay at home. But watch out. You remember the pastor we covered? I think Rodney Howard Brown, who was arrested for unlawful assembly in violation of health emergency rules for allowing people to gather at his church.
That was Oklahoma, right? Or was that?
I think it was Tampa.
Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
Oh, Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa. Yeah.
There's so many of them. There's so many.
And then in New York, they're handing out $500 fines to anyone who's told to social distance, refuses. And in Kentucky, they are putting some idiots on house arrest with ankle bracelets because they had come into contact with corona and refused to fucking lock down, turn up, and stay at home.
You gotta be a real special piece of shit to have a corona ankle bracelet.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
you really.
The community just doesn't trust you at all.
I mean, that's
with their lives. They're like, this guy is a real loose cannon, real piece of shit. He's not going to stay home. You got to slap the ankle bracelet.
Yeah, that's one step away from they're going to have to murder these people next.
Right. No, yeah, they're just. I mean, and they're probably still going out with their ankle bracelets.
Right. Of course they are. Of course they are.
Yeah. So, and in Maryland, which is the heftiest one I saw, you can get a $5,000 fine and up to a year in jail for disobeying Governor Larry Hogan's orders. But handing out these fines is a bit tricky. Some think that the orders will impact minorities and poor communities more, and police do not even want to give them out because they're too scared of getting the virus themselves. And from one of the CNN articles I was using to write this, Marianne Kashian, a senior staff attorney at the Brooklyn Defender Services, said, quote, social distancing is absolutely a critical measure, but our knee-jerk reaction to problems in society tends to be criminalization, and it's just not the answer, especially here. She went on to say marginalized people will be the most impacted because we know, based on years of data, that other low-level offenses disproportionately target black and low-income people.
This is where India's got us one-upped, right? Because you shouldn't be handing out fines for being on the street. You should be shaming people with the Corona Knights,
right?
Like slapping you with a giant coronavirus, like fake ball. You know, like they see you in the streets, you just get bopped in the head with a big foam coronavirus that keeps the cop far enough away from you, where it's hilarious for the cameras, but it sucks for you.
I think people here would be taking selfies with that guy, to be all honest. I think that's what happened with the Corona guy over here. But also police deal with a lot of people, so exposing them to the possibility of coronavirus could also increase the spread. They deal with Group A, they get the virus, then they go deal with Groups B, C, D. Everyone now has it. They're like little virus spreaders themselves, potentially. Right. So
I mean, if you're a cop that has no symptoms at this point, I mean, you would maybe be thinking you just don't have symptoms, but you may have
right.
anyways. Right?
I think they should potentially make, like, if you set a limit on how many strikes you get, and if these people are just habitual non-stay-at-home people, then they should have outdoor penal colonies.
Right.
Or you just put them all like in a tent situation, and then like
right now, just make them all get together.
Because I bet that would scare the shit out of them. Is what I'm saying.
That probably would.
Because they're like, oh fuck, we got to spend 24/7 with all these.
You have to go to Corona jail.
Yeah,
you can't even go to regular jail.
Correct.
You go to the Corona tent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now that's
bring
a
back
solution.
What?
Wow.
Sheriff Joe Arpaio in Arizona.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and it kind of like an escape New York type scenario as well. Jake, the Snake Plissken, like.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, but just like Sheriff Joe.
Yeah. So I mean, the problem is that no one's policing themselves, so you have to enforce it. So one man in New Jersey was pissed because he got a citation at a fucking funeral. Fair enough, but the gist of it is, if you don't follow the law, you get a citation. Police are doing their best during this mess, and laws were enacted because people are incapable of policing themselves, and most are given warnings first. So if you don't listen, you get a ticket. NYPD Chief of Patrol Fausto Pichardo sums it up by saying, "quote Our overarching goal is to get compliance for everyone in the city, regardless of what color they are, so that we don't have to take the enforcement action. This is not about the NYPD. This is about every single New Yorker and every single person in the country, and frankly, the world. Everyone needs to step up. Everyone needs to police themselves. So if you're mad you got a ticket, it's probably because you didn't listen the first time. I don't think they should be,
I think
funerals, but...
Yeah, that's probably over the line. It's amazing that 90% of people have complied, I think. You know?
For the most part, we joke, but for the most part,
Yeah.
America's done a fantastic job of staying inside.
Yeah, I
Right,
mean,
so-
you don't have to go far to find people not obeying this shit, but
Of course, I mean, you leave the house and you see somebody doing something dumb. But I mean, for the most part, that's all you see because you don't see many people out.
right.
My favorite is, like, I see the guys, like, on my street, like, jogging, right, and sweating. So then they'll, like, pass another human being while their beads of sweat literally, like, propel into the other person.
I was jogging in the park until it got way too crowded because the lockdown actually made the park way more crowded. And Mark, I think that there's just too much when you're on that skinny path. It's kind of tough, passing people.
I mean, running on a
Droplets.
Running on a treadmill, you can see, like, I'm a sweater. I think you're a sweater too, Will.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, the droplets just go everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, I got scared off one day and I haven't been back. Yeah. But the biking, that's like the one thing that's still approved pretty much everywhere, and it's because you're just moving too fast and you stay away from other people. So that was pretty good.
Yeah. So that's kind of what's going on with the social distancing thing. Gentlemen.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right. Well, check this one out. Sense of smell lost by many weeks ago, still waiting for return. That's what the ominous CNN headline that made me want to run my head into a brick wall when I saw it said. So let's talk about it, guys.
But that's your sense of touch will still be there, Will, when you run your head into the wall.
That's right.
Yeah.
My brain will still be busted and on the floor because CNN made me hammer it out of my head.
Right.
Smell the blood.
But, fellas, let's talk about it. Since this is such an ominous headline, does coronavirus take your sense of smell? And is it gone forever? Does it go away forever? Will you ever get it back?
Are you asking? I think that...
This is the first I'm hearing about it.
Before I tell you.
Well, it's not the first time I've heard about it. I've heard that many people lose their sense of smell. It's a very common symptom, and I think that it does go away for even after you've, like, recovered sometimes. But, I mean... to the point where I've just been, like, smelling things every day because, like, some people get coronavirus, but they don't have like a fever.
Right.
So I've been smelling the worst stuff. I've been smelling like my armpits, like my farts.
I'm about to explain to you why. That should give you peace of mind, but maybe don't do that all the time.
I'm so dumb. Like, I should be smelling like strawberries and shit. Like,
Wes, what do you think about this smell thing? Offhand, do you think it's gonna rob you of your smell if you get it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I'm smelling the food I'm cooking. Same with Mark, smelling all the bad shit. So I hope it doesn't. I mean, I feel like, but I was wondering, I'm like, how quick would I notice if my sense of smell was gone?
Exactly. Let's get into the nitty gritty of this. You guys have some very good initial thoughts, and the short answer, you're correct. No, it doesn't go away for everybody and forever, for most people at least. As we've discussed at length on this show, coronavirus seems to have very, very different effects on different people. The easiest examples to look at who are public is Idris Elba, Tom Hanks, and Boris Johnson. Each of those guys was more impacted than the last guy, with Boris being the worst. But all three of them are going to pull through this round of the virus. And Idris Elba had absolutely no symptoms whatsoever. He couldn't tell he had it besides the fact he had a positive test. But for some people, like Holly Bourne, who is a author in London, only one of the symptoms is very prevalent, and that is the loss of her sense of smell. She says that and headaches are the only symptoms of coronavirus that she gets. And although she has not been tested for the virus, her doctor has told her that she does have it over the phone.
Oh, wow.
And now this is a front page story on CNN.
How do we know that she could smell to begin with?
Right? There's a lot of question marks with this whole thing. This whole smell thing. Now, I'm not trying to say that the smell thing isn't real, but this is blown up, guys.
Well, Will, we're gonna get into it in my story that the coronavirus is just like nature's like number one thing, but it's even like good for the water supply, because if you're staying at home and you can't smell your own ass, you're not gonna shower.
Yeah,
like shower. It's an attack on showering is what it is.
It's an attack on many things, and that's a great point, Mark, because Bourne discovered that she had lost her sense of smell when her boyfriend asked why a plastic margarine tub was melting on their stove. She had turned her back while making sandwiches, and she couldn't smell the melting plastic on the stove. That's safe to say your sense of smell is gone. And, of course, Mark, the added bonus, she was not smelling her own stench that day either. Right.
Her shit doesn't stink.
Yeah. Yeah, which brings us to a very important point that Mark just pointed out, which is if you can still smell your own filth during this lockdown, which none of us are shaming, all of us have been smelling our own filth frequently on this show. At least, Wes, have you? I know what Mark and I have.
Absolutely. My showers and teeth brushing down by 50%.
It's a daily regimen. And then I ask my wife how bad I smell. Then I ask my cats how bad I smell. It's like do I stink?
Exactly. Yeah. I've asked my wife so many times, how bad do I smell? Do I smell as bad as I smell, as I think I smell?
You smell twice as bad if that's the case.
I get this 3 or 4 times a week. I'll go, I'm going to shower, and then I get a thank you.
Yeah.
Well, so, Mark, but that's probably, in a way, a little bit of a silver lining there. It's a positive indicator that you probably are just fine since you can smell your own stink. Don't worry, nothing to worry about. So, but Holly Bourne, I believe that's her name, right? She made a thread on Twitter asking people to report about their horrific losses of smell. And here is the top reply by Slightly Sweary Auntie. I lost smell and taste to a virus 15 years ago, permanently. Your food list is spot on of the things that you can't smell or taste. I am very grateful for Vegemite, Naked Ginger, and I eat them like candy. Seville marmalade, oranges, lemons, chili sauce, tart apples with juice crunch, and best of all, very strong espresso coffee. So it can be an incredibly positive thing for your health to lose your sense of smell.
Sounds like
so
it. Those were all
you might drink bad milk on accident, but also why would you ever drink anything besides water or vodka? You basically are just going to have the best grocery list ever.
Well, let me ask you. Does it, I think maybe it affects your cooking, but if you're not like cooking the food, preparing it yourself, you still have the sense of taste, right? So if you know it's fresh.
No, you could lose that too.
Okay.
Yeah, she's claiming
do they go hand in hand? I've heard smell.
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. I think if you lose your smell,
you can't enjoy taste as well.
Less.
Got it.
Yeah.
Smell is a big part of taste from what maybe that's an urban legend. I don't know, but that's what
I know chefs need to be able to smell things.
Yeah. So, but anyhow, I mean, look, this lady, the top comment, the top response is talking about how it was so incredible for her. But so anyhow, only about 20% of people in England who were polled who have the coronavirus lost their senses of smell with the virus.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah, 20% of the people who were, that sounds like hospitalized, basically.
I mean, isn't that the sense you'd want to go if you had to choose one?
Right. Yeah, of course. There could be a huge benefit,
Yeah.
right? Like that's what the one lady says. Yeah, and so also, doctors agree that it's unknown if it'll ever come back if you do lose it really badly to a virus. Any virus. Could be corona, could be anything else. Like this other lady who lost to something else.
Damn.
I have to do cat litter. I kind of want this to happen to me.
Right. Some people are going to be happy about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, we're not really going to know how far the virus spread until we have like antibody testings on the backside of this to see, because so many people probably got this and had absolutely no clue they had it. And for those people, they probably didn't lose their sense of smell. So it's 20% of the people that actually know they have.
I got a prediction. I think that I don't know, a couple of years from now, we'll say, or more, they're gonna start making drugs to like give people their sense of
get your smell
back, and it's going to impact other senses as well. So people
they call it
supervision, stuff like that. Like you're going to get like mutant powers from these drugs that are going to try to return
Smellexa.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
yeah.
I was telling you guys, my parents are real excited about that antibodies test because they are in the stage of quarantine where they've now convinced themselves that my dad got coronavirus because he got real sick after they came back from Vegas in like late January or early February. So now they're like convincing themselves that he already had it. My mom was like, and I kind of got a little cold after he had it, so maybe I just didn't get the symptoms. So they just want to get the fuck out of the house.
It's possible.
They're lying to themselves.
So they're just going to go out like raw dogging it. Just absolutely no protection.
They're convincing themselves that they are immune to this thing at this point.
I hope they stay put and stay safe, but it's better than them
too.
being like hypochondriacs and worrying every day about getting it, right?
Yeah, well,
better.
they're both heavy smokers. They need to stay the fuck inside.
Yeah.
There's the two routes you could go.
I like that route better. It's more optimistic.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my point here with this whole story. So in conclusion, in these times of everybody being mad about being locked up constantly at home for at least a couple more weeks, I'd appreciate it if CNN would stop trying to scare the crap out of everybody with these headlines.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Well,
did you see the one
we
they
won't
posted last week?
We won't be able to smell it anyways, Will.
Right.
Did you see the one they posted last week? I posted it was what's going to happen to the airlines when pilots come back after not being able to practice. Like, that was the headline.
So all the planes are going to crash.
Right? Yeah,
great.
that's it. Yeah, pilots
We
are
have
to
no
practice.
sense
Everyone's
of
going to
smell.
die.
Planes fly
crashing into the fucking
planes
ground.
fly themselves to the point where they even crash themselves with the Boeing.
That'll drive you crazy
that's
just
ridiculous.
reading those headlines.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, seriously, they're nuts, man.
All right, guys, we've talked about this before, but nature and animals are really coming out on top with this whole coronavirus thing. Basically, the whole planet and all of its species besides humans are doing okay. You've got pandas fucking for the first time in over a decade. Killer wasps migrating wherever the fuck they want, like to the UK now. Plants are just blossoming everywhere. I have about 1,000 mushrooms in my backyard. I've got cardinals doing backflips in my backyard, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous.
I have noticed the bees are really, really buzzing around. They're pollinating this year.
Yeah, they're having their way. Yeah. Well, it turned, and that goes to the plants and the flowers and stuff. Well, it turns out, surprise, surprise, there's another animal success story that I'm going to talk about today. That is the amazing recent evolutionary feat of the three-toed skink, which is a lizard, not a hooker with frostbite.
The skink.
There's a three-toed skink. The skink is a unique Australian lizard that in some region lays eggs for birth, and in other regions of Australia gives live birth to baby lizards, depending on they can choose depending on their climate. They do either eggs if it's more conducive or live births. But recently, for the first time ever, scientists witnessed a three-toed skink give birth with both eggs and live babies, not in eggs, in the same birthing.
Can you imagine how jealous human women are of this?
Yeah, they just get to
You
choose.
have the option of eggs or a live one.
Yeah, and just she's in her mind, she's popping out. So
What do you think they choose?
Egg, bro.
Egg
Egg is gonna just be. It's like designed to just pop right out. Boop. Done.
then you got to incubate.
What comes first? What comes first, the skink or the egg? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's both now. The three-toed skink is so comfortable with lockdown, guys, that it's pulling off trick shots during births. Egg, baby, egg.
Like a ping pong girl
exactly.
in Thailand.
Egg.
You could take bets on it.
Live baby into egg, cracking open egg, turning into live baby skink. Skinkadelphia,
Skink betting.
The coronavirus lockdown has and is also causing the largest drop in carbon emissions ever, in the history of the recorded world. So that's good. Greta and the three-toed skinks are really enjoying it, I would imagine. That's also a good band name, Greta and the three-toed skinks.
I like it. Yeah.
That is three-toed skinks is just a great name for an animal. Great name in general.
Really, the only reason I did this story is because I found out the lizard was called the three-toed skink. So just having a little fun with it. Even whales are getting in on the action. As a pair were spotted off the coast of the southern portion of France and the Mediterranean for like the first time ever, because usually they're scared away by giant yachts blasting house music, so they can't even like get near the coast.
Yeah.
But now they're just like there's just fucking whales like 10 feet from the shoreline.
Oh yeah. Turtles are laying eggs on beaches they never had before.
Yeah.
Fucking all kinds of shit. It's great.
Yeah, it's
I
cool.
saw a
There's
picture.
lots of- oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I saw a picture someone took of L.A. without the smog, and it looked amazing. It's like Fantasyland.
Exactly. They have those slider pictures of like India, China, L.A.
Awesome.
with all the smog.
Yeah.
It's like paradise now. Wild turkeys took over an elementary school campus in Oakland, California recently because the place wasn't full of screaming kids. Right? What is it? What is it with elementary schools? I have a school right across the street from my house. You guys obviously know that. And when I'm in my living room during school hours, it sounds like 30 to 40 kids are getting murdered every day. And it's just them.
That playground sound.
It's
just
It's just them screaming at the top of their lungs all at the same time.
It's like if you go to a go-kart place or something.
It's
or an
unbelievable.
arcade. Yeah.
I'm literally like, oh my God,
gonna hear a lot of
someone's out there mowing down these kids. I was like, no, it's just the kids screaming. It's been very peaceful for my neighborhood recently. So
it is.
Yeah.
I mean, the squirrels are just hanging out on my deck,
Yeah.
like just. I mean, not a care in the world. So it's good. It's gonna end for them all very soon, though.
Yeah, I feel bad for the babies born during the lockdown because
Yeah.
like a lot of like
this is life.
This is mating season, or they're being born, right? So, and then all of a sudden they have to deal with humans. The apex predator of the planet is hiding inside its home now.
But on
months.
the flip end of that, all the old animals that are like dying, they get like to like their last seasons very peaceful.
Oh, it's a
very
beautiful
peaceful.
last season. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, well, a lot of animals out there picking like shitty nests that they're about to find out are just bad choices.
Oh yeah, they're about to get trampled.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Somebody just accidentally walking on eggs. Oh, whoops.
Yeah, exactly.
As soon as the parks are open again.
Yeah. All right. Well, while we're on animals, let's talk Tiger King, guys. Netflix most watched series of all time by now, I think. If you have not seen it, we might spoil it for you. So here's your warning. And they just released a new Tiger King.
Skip ahead. Yeah, right. Skip ahead if you don't want to hear this about the original series or the new one that Wes is.
Well, we know one person will.
Yeah. So they released the new Tiger King episode, which is basically just a check-in with the characters hosted by Joel McHale. You may remember him from The Soup. Anyway, he basically
that's
checks.
what it is.
Yeah, The Soup. Yeah, he's been in some other stuff.
Is he the
recently
guy
too,
from
but-
Community too?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it basically checks in with characters from the show, not including that bitch Carol Baskin or Doc Antle, who called Tiger King, quote, sensationalized entertainment with paid participants and was more focused on shock value and titillation than fact. And Carol Baskin, of course, hates Tiger King and apparently has written a 3,000-word rebuttal to what she calls lies and innuendos. And wait, hang on. I think actually we have she called into the show. Let's see if she had something to say. Hang on
Oh,
one second.
what?
Yeah. We got a call from Carol. It's amazing.
Defending
Hang on.
herself.
Let me just make sure the volume's all the way up.
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. It's Carol from Big Cat Rescue. Just calling to say hello from the Sunshine State. Just listened to Florida Man Friday. Loved it. Keep up the great work, guys. But in the meantime, please take down the Joe shirt from the website. Otherwise, I'll kill you, bitch. Have a great evening, boys.
Wow, that was probably our best, our biggest caller.
Yeah.
Oh, huge call.
Yeah. I mean, was that what that sounded like her?
I mean, I'm convinced it was her.
What's the area code on that? Was it 813?
Let me see.
Say yes.
219. Yeah. 813.
813,
Yeah.
yeah.
813. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Tampa
Yeah.
Bay.
Sorry, I'm a little slow.
Well, damn.
but
I mean, I'm a little scared, but I think we should push Joe Exotic even harder now if Carol's on the case. It's going to
Yeah,
give us
absolutely.
some publicity.
Yeah, that reminds me. Let's pump it. We have a shirt now. Free Joe Exotic. We're trying to cash in on this shit. Yes, we are. So buy it. It looks great.
Well, Joe would want us to.
of course.
I mean Joe
absolutely.
Exotic, he's never let a good PR opportunity go to waste.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I actually I did not watch the whole thing. Will, you said you did. I turned it off because the first guy they interviewed was the long-haired dude, and he said he hadn't even watched the series.
That's all you really needed to watch, though.
Right.
So that guy, for if you did watch the show, not the new show, or if you watched the new show, but if you watched the original one, he was the head zookeeper, correct? The guy that looked like he was like a tall Australian guy with like the dirty blonde hair.
Yeah.
And he's the guy that clearly had to execute all the tigers.
He was the closest to the tigers personally.
Right.
Yeah,
and then he had to kill all of them when Joe told him to.
It seemed like
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
It seems like they're all like that was his thing. He was felt like he let the tigers down, like they were actually looking at him like, "Oh, bro, you fucked me over."
It really seemed like all of them did actually.
Yeah.
Right.
The rest, everybody was like that, Wes. Afterwards.
They seem like they're just blaming Joe on making themselves feel better by blaming Joe that he ordered them to do all this bad shit when they they did.
He was the boss.
When you walk
of course,
when you walk a tiger you've raised into a pit and then put
sucks.
one in its head, you let it down a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
you do.
I'd say
You burnt a pit that you dug with the shovel to then put it into the grave. Yeah, it's letting it down a little bit.
Yeah, that's a little bit of betrayal.
Yeah.
it's a slight betrayal. So Joe, basically, if you're gonna watch the extra episode, they all give their opinion on whether or not Joe should be pardoned. So that's one reason to watch it. Also, the first husband, the kid with no teeth on the documentary,
Yeah, he's doing good.
Tyler?
He's doing good, right?
He now has a full set. Well, I don't know. You'd have to watch and see what your assessment of that is.
Okay.
But he does have a full set of teeth, and he's wearing a shirt now. So
Well, that's better.
yes.
Do you think they got paid? How much money do you think these characters were paid? It sounds like they're all celebrities now, but I think they're just still poor celebrities because he was talking. The first guy was still talking about going to work and like still working for. Jeff
they're
Lowe,
still
right?
working regular jobs. I don't think they were paid a ton.
But I think
Right.
that they're like these type of things is what's going to get them paid. Like this extra episode, they got paid.
Royalties
they
and
got paid for this
extra work,
and
right.
then when their Twitter followers get to like 100K, and then when they do another spinoff show, like
I wonder who gets all the money from the residuals, because I mean that's got to be a ton, right? Because of how
my
popular
God,
it was.
tons of money. Yeah, they could do cameos.
there's more to
wish
come.
people happy
There's
birthday.
more to come for these people, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. And definitely check
So-
it out. I mean, it was, I would say, like, I don't know. The guy was, well, I mean, entertainment value, pretty low, but it's interesting to see a checkup on him.
Yeah.
Not a huge McHale fan.
Yeah,
Nah,
he did okay.
Yeah.
He did okay. He made fun of himself. So.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Okay, and then we have one review, guys. This is a great one from Sailing Night. Amazing way to start the day. This is a great way to start the day. Most of the hosts are fantastic, but they really, in all capitals, really need to get rid of Wes. I fast forward through any part that idiot speaks.
Oh, no. He's not going to hear this.
He's not going to hear his own review. Yeah.
Well, I don't believe him. There's no way he fast forwards through every time I speak.
You're right.
That's him being cute.
I think he hangs on to every word, Wes.
I think he does too. I think,
mad.
you always tease the ones you love,
That's
right?
right.
Was that the way it goes?
Yeah. Well, he wouldn't be fast forwarding too much. I mean, we cut you off all the time. So
It's true. Yeah, it's very true. I'm not the best at getting in there, but so thank you very much for that, Sailing Night. That was a good way
mean.
to.
That was mean.
And my. It was mean. He's just typing on his fucking computer.
Yeah, that was
really?
mean.
REALLY.
Put it in caps. Give me a break.
Put it in caps. Caps lock. This one.
guy ruins my day.
Does that make you feel better, Sailing Night?
It does. Well, it was funny because I was watching. If you haven't seen the documentary series Action, I think it's on Showtime. It's about professional gamblers and it's all about sports gambling. It's awesome. I like it. But there's this guy Vegas Dave that's on there. He's like the world's most famous sports gambler, and he was talking about all of his haters, and he's like I want haters. He's like I want 50 million haters. If you got haters, that means you're doing something right. So that's what I'm going to say. This guy, Sailing Night, you fucking cocksucker.
Your stars coming, Wes. Your ship is coming.
All right,
Fueling Wes's rise.
more haters.
all it
Give
is.
me the haters.
Just growing that chip on Wes's shoulder. Keep
I'm
them
also
coming,
telling
everybody.
I'm also telling myself maybe maybe he's confused because people say that our voices, they don't know our voices.
You can't read into it. There's a troll that's been after me as well. You just gotta ignore it.
Yeah, no, I love it. Keep them coming. But thank you for the 5-star review, Sailing Night. We appreciate that.
Excellent 5-star review.
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
guys, let's move it on to America's grandma, Olive Veronesi, 93, of Seminole, PA, which is near Pittsburgh, has set the internet on fire with a picture of her holding a sign in her window that says she needs more beers while she's holding a silver bullet, a Coors Light.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just a 93-year-old lady who's like giddily holding up her Coors, saying she needs more beers.
That's like a meals. That's like a Meals on Wheels. She needs someone to come bring her the beers.
Exactly.
She looks great for 93. She's all standing up and shit.
Oh yeah. No, she's having fun. She's having fun. She does have a walker. I saw some other pictures. She has to use a walker maybe to get around some places, but she's doing pretty good. Olive's doing good. And unless you've been off social media for the last couple of days, which is unlikely since it's Corona lockdown, you've seen the picture of her in the window. And the funny part is that she was just posing as a joke. Like one of her relatives was in the house, took the picture of her behind the window, and then they posted it on Facebook, like at her daughter and their neighbors.
Right.
Like, so it was just like a joke. Like, I do want beers, but it's also just like a funny, like, haha, how you guys doing? Check-in kind of joke.
Yeah, she's just fucking awesome. She's awesome.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she's America's grandma now.
Right.
Olive Veronesi is now all of our grandma, and she loves beers. Not only did her family hook her up, they don't need to anymore because every single beer company in America, it sounds like, has already offered Olive a sponsorship deal. Just tremendous stuff from Olive. I mean, it's like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and in Pittsburgh, that's the kind of town that'll take care of you when you're a 93-year-old woman and out of beer.
Yeah. I wonder if Iron City is going to have a deal for her or something.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and her sign is a great reminder to all of us. Maybe just relax, have a beer if things get too heavy this lockdown. Unless, of course, you're avoiding alcohol for any health reason. In that case, angrily masturbate or work out. I don't know whatever floats your boat in that one.
I did the first.
Yeah. So thank you, Olive. Everybody thanks you, Olive, because that everybody needs a little smile, a little laugh during these times. And that story about Olive, America's beer-drinking granny, was brought to you by Predictit, the stock market of politics. Remember, go to predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20 to get your first $20 matched on your initial deposit. And if you've been playing along with us, you know that the Dem VP market and the general election markets are hot right now. A lot of action, a lot of positive odds. Everybody in those markets, every single person in those markets is a positive odd besides Trump to repeat, and he's barely over a coin flip. So if you think you know who's the Dem VP right now, if you think you know who's going to be the next president in the general election,
everyone thinks they know too.
Yeah, put it in because there's lots of money being traded. There's lots of opportunity there. Again, to get in on the action, go to predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20. You get your first $20 match on your initial deposit of 20 or more at that specific URL. And right now, like I was saying, like we've been saying the last couple weeks, this is the time to bet. The odds are really good right now.
Yep.
Wes, is it? Go ahead.
Huh? I was going to say now's the time.
I was just wondering if the angry masturbation's like the new norm.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, but no.
No, it's never angry. It's just good old normal.
Okay.
Just vigorous. Just vigorous.
Yeah.
Sorry. Fair enough.
I use the wrong description there.
Okay.
It shouldn't have been angry. It should have been vigorous. Was the adjective.
Here's something angering. Did you guys catch the Saturday Night Live Zoom episode this weekend?
Oh no.
Nope,
Missed it. What the hell, guys? It was a Saturday Night Live episode.
Missed it. Was it really self-congratulatory? A bunch of people jerking each other off on there?
Yeah, you guys didn't miss much. Spoiler alert if you have this on DVR and want to watch it, but it's terrible. Tom Hanks hosted, but he really didn't do anything. He was in a short monologue from his home in the beginning and then said bye very briefly at the end. He wasn't in a single sketch.
I kicked Corona's ass.
That's why he was on there. I get why they put him on there because he he's alive from Corona. That's literally why he was on there. But
I would have rather tuned into that if all they did was give like tours of their homes. That's what that would. That would have been cool. I would have been interested in that.
It would have been 100 times better. Like the sausage castle tour that we did was much more entertaining.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks' home would have been awesome. And some of them, like they're like young struggling comedians, so they have like apartments, like the tiny ones.
Right.
It would have been hilarious. Speaking of which, there was like one sketch in the entire thing. And it was by far the best part of the show, in my opinion. They made fun of like business Zoom meetings, which is low hanging fruit, but it was funny.
I haven't looked forward in your notes, but I mean, have you seen our Barstool's version of that sketch?
I mean, Barstool's content's better than this show. Like it was not a good show.
Because Joey Molinaro did that, and it was very funny.
Barstool's content's
check it out.
all funnier than the SNL remote show. Everything else besides that one sketch with like six, but there was like six people instead of Joey and the other guy.
Right. Yeah.
So it was funny. Everything else was like a solo act of each cast member trying to show off their comedic chops during at-home quarantine. It was like not exactly what I wanted to see, to be honest. Like it wasn't.
That
it wasn't,
sounds
it wasn't
like
funny.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't funny. Chris Martin sang Bob Dylan's "Shelter from the Storm," which caused me to audibly groan and fast forward. Alec Baldwin called in as Trump during the Weekend Update, which was actually pretty funny. Probably my second favorite part outside of that one sketch. But none of it was live. It was all pre-recorded.
Really?
Yeah, and it's a hard pass on any of these going forward for me. Although I will say the production team, like the behind-the-scenes team, did a good job. It was the cast that didn't do a good job.
It sounds like they just made a great case for how important writers really are.
Writers are
Ooh,
SNL writers are
damn.
SNL writers and the production team are very important to that show for sure.
That's a good point.
They all wrote their own stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably pinged some ideas back and forth, but it was bad.
But it's on you. It's one of those things where it's like, they're getting a little taste of the real life where you gotta write your own shit and film yourself and put it up, and you don't have
a little harder when you don't have a team of writers for you.
Yep.
There was even like a really awful Drake parody song from Pete Davidson in his like solo act. He was trying to do a spoof on the new Drake music video. But it wasn't funny at all. And that guy, in my opinion, should take the rest of 2020 off. Because I don't know if you saw his Netflix special, but woof, the one that came out a couple months ago.
We tried to watch it. I tried to watch it. I think
he's not funny. Yeah. I mean, outside of his Louis C.K. story in the beginning of that special, it's like one laugh in 42 minutes. It's bad.
Yeah, he's usually in the news for dating another hot chick or saying something insanely offensive.
Which that's cool. I mean, the hot chick part.
He needs to reinvent himself. I don't know. It was weird. It seemed more like I'm saying, like it was like a bunch of half-assed audition tapes than an actual episode. Like this is like what they would send in. It was really weird.
Now I need to watch it too. Yeah. How many people on screen on average did they have, Mark? Like, because Zoom gets wild when you have more than like 4.
So I saw a picture. It looked like 20, 30
That was
people
them all saying hello. And then if you take,
Okay.
that was about 15 seconds. If you take that away, inclusive of the Zoom business sketch I'm talking about, an average of 2 people per sketch.
It should be good then. Why?
Interesting.
It was not good. No, these were all pre-recorded sketches. A lot of them were not.
Right, pre-recorded. It should be.
It was all green screen. It was like it was a bunch of like Around the Hills. Like I don't know. There was a really nice tribute to a beloved staff member that passed away that they did bring a bunch of people on at the end of the show. It was touching, but it was also more entertaining than all of the rest of the show, just like hearing past and present famous cast members talk about how awesome the guy was that passed away, his day in and day out, like awesome, funny stories. So unless another person that's worked on SNL passes away before the next episode, I'm probably going to skip the remote shows going forward.
Yeah. Well... Yeah, when you say when you say it was like a bunch of Around the Hills, that's not a glowing endorsement.
Right. Yep.
Hey, Around the Hill was good. I like that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It was on par with those. And that's going to do it for Hard Factor. Thank you so much for listening. I hope everyone had a happy Easter if that's something you observe, and a happy weekend. Oh, and a few people have pointed out some of the lockdown turn-up shirt sizes have sold out. We are getting those restocked this week, so check in every day if you're looking for a size that's sold out. It should be back this week.
Also, in the meantime, just grab a Joe Exotic, free Joe
Yeah,
Exotic.
might as well just grab a Joe, wait for the other one to come in.
Exactly, guys. And stimulus checks should be coming this week, so that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, what else? I see, I know things have been weird, guys, but we aren't going anywhere. We are going to take back the earth from those stupid fucking animals before you know it. Until then, drink plenty of water, keep inside, wash your hands, and have a great fucking day.